Welcome back to Fully Booked, the guest list. This week, we have Lucy Revis with us from Tracks UK. And sorry.
I always feel the need to do that when we introduce guests.
Because there's no one clapping in the audience.
Yay! Woo!
And this week's episode is sponsored by Corp.
Yay!
Shall I do a woo? Woo!
You want to give Corp a big woo? Corp.
Yay! Woo! Lovely stuff.
Cheers, Corp.
Cheers, Corp. And thank you, Lucy, for joining us.
No problem at all.
On this guest list. We keep saying we need to actually get a guest list where everyone we have on signs it. And then we have that would be so cool.
And then have a party.
We'll have like a visitor's book where everyone's kind of signed the guest list. We thought that would be really
that's
cool.
such a good idea, though. Maybe at the end of every season, we could have a party with all the people who have been on that guest list.
Yeah. I mean, that would be amazing.
That's such a good idea.
So into that, yeah.
They've already given up enough of their time to come and speak to us.
Yeah. Also, we've got the problem where we haven't got it yet, and you're our fourth guest. So when we actually come up with this guest list that we need to be able to sign, we need to go around Sheffield and find all the people that we've had on.
Yeah, that's true.
I did task you with that as well. That was
I
your
know,
job.
I know. I've been busy, Joe.
I know. We're gonna have to do that
I've been
little
busy.
drive around Sheffield and get those signatures.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so Lucy Revis, who are you? And why what the heck do you do?
Oh my gosh, I like that. Straight to the point.
To the point.
Who am I? I'm Lucy, and I am a musician, and I run a charity called Tracks. I'm wearing our jumper today.
Repping.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff.
And I lived in, I'm trying to think, I've lived in Sheffield for like nearly 20 years now. So I feel like I'm a Sheffield person. I think after 20 years you can sort of get.
That's fair enough.
That's pretty good, because
status.
I'm only on 8 years now.
Yeah.
9 years.
Yeah. So you've got 11
Quite
years.
chunks,
You've got
to
11
be
years
fair,
on here.
still.
Yeah.
Adopted Yorkshireman. So we've got 2 dogs in the room today, and one of them's decided, even though she's never played with anything ever, she's decided that now is the time to start being an active dog.
She's the cutest dog ever. I mean, I'll keep my cool to an extent, but if she starts doing this again.
Where she just sat on her back legs.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah, like a meerkat.
Anyway, what is Tracks?
So Tracks, it's a charity that we set up in 2021 to try and make music sort of more of a sort of level playing field, so everyone could get a chance to, have music lessons, make songs and that kind of stuff. So we work with children from like age 6 up to 25. So it's been like the biggest part of my life for the past 5 years or so. And we've got like this amazing team of people, musicians that people will maybe know from the city, teaching children in different ways. So we have Saturday morning music school, we have like after school clubs, and we run a alternative provision, which is to help young people who might not be able to attend mainstream school.
Right.
We work with children in care, and we just try and find young people who have an interest in music that maybe wouldn't have the confidence or the funds or, all the other different types of barriers that would stop you sort of doing creative things.
Yeah.
That's what Tracks does. And we're sort of aiming to, make more music and make more sort of ways into the music industry for the young people.
Love that. So you're co-founder and director?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Lovely. And you're also a cellist.
I am. Yeah.
So you're like, I'm so intrigued by this because I love classical music.
She's a huge fan.
I love cellos. So my favourite instrument is a double bass.
Great instrument.
But cello's a close second. But what do you do? Where do you go? What genre do you play? Is it classical cello?
So like when I was growing up, I saw there was a teacher that came to school and sort of inspired me to like try and learn the cello. It wasn't something that no one in my family played any instruments or anything like that. I just really got taken with string instruments and like the way they sounded. It just came out of nowhere really. And then I trained classically until I did my master's degree. But through that, I've always sort of done bits of session work from being a teenager onwards. And generally that would be for like rock bands or folk music or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And when I moved to Sheffield, I sort of cracked on with doing a bit of session work as soon as I came up here because A, I wanted to, and B, I needed the money. So I sort of met lots of people along the way who I still like work with and play for now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sort of going back on tour for the first time in 2 years, like in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm
Is that like a national tour?
Yeah, national tour.
Wow.
Yeah, so it'll be really chilled, I think, but really fun.
Ah, fun. So, just going back to tracks, what kind of was it you and a few other people who decided to start the charity?
In a way, so like the charity name is actually Sheffield Music School, which is a 30-year-old charity.
Right.
And I worked for Sheffield Music School for many years as a cello teacher.
Okay.
And sort of teaching on the classical program. And then I took over as director in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, me and my colleague Tessa were both sort of quite keen to make changes so we could have more people who couldn't afford lessons to come in.
Yeah.
And we sort of edged towards different ways of like making that happen until we eventually decided on like having a completely free music school.
Yeah.
So if you could afford to, you would pay, and if you couldn't, you didn't.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously everything in between that. And just sort of going for funding bids and trying to do fundraisers to try and raise the money for that. And it was just a day a week job, like 3.5 hours on a Saturday.
So what changed between it being just like a few hours on a Saturday to then being like this incredible full on thing that it is today?
I think
you're so involved.
Yeah, like we started getting to know the young people like quite well and realizing that it seemed like quite a safe space for them on a weekend, and they were struggling with other stuff through the week.
Okay.
And then people sort of realized that we were able to cope with what was going on for them, and sort of from that we decided like to add the next thing in. So it was mentoring, and then that went really well, and we didn't know how to sort of go to the next step, and we would sort of work it out. And one of the main things is every time we meet someone, if we know we could be doing with more with them, and we know that the project is ending, like there's like a huge pull to
hard. Yeah, it's hard to say no and hard to be like, okay, we're going to stop here. We're going to set these boundaries for ourselves when like you just want to be so involved and like, give everything you can.
Yeah, and it's like trying to find that balance, because I think you can easily go, you know, into burnout, which I've done many times.
Yeah.
And you have to work out what works and what you're able to deliver.
Yeah.
And I think because stuff works and the children keep coming, and we're sort of able to, you know, cope with children that people think have got, you know, needs that can't be coped with, and that's not true. It's just you have to approach things slightly differently. So I think for us it's like, well, we don't have any problems, we just, you know, it's a hard job, but we just crack on, and it's really fulfilling, so why don't we do it more, basically.
And I guess now you've got a lovely big team behind you now.
Yeah, we've got a huge team, and like every time someone comes and joins us, it's because something that they have is going to relate to the young people. And I think none of us are really sort of your classic teachers, and I think that's what's needed a lot of the time, because it can be really scary to go into a place that feels like a school if school's been really really hard for you. Also
people who've been kind of like trained as teachers probably have a very specific way of approaching like children in general, because they might be teaching classes of 30, but these kids who have very specific needs, maybe they just need someone to kind of look at it completely unconventionally and just be like, I'm going to try and handle this completely different way, and that might be the way that kind of taps in.
It's a lot less intimidating, isn't it, when it's not like teachers, because sometimes it can really put you off, because you just you seize up a little bit.
I think that's it. And I think you've got to, like, we all have to recognize that teacher training and what teachers know is really valuable, and in some settings it works really well, but it in other settings it doesn't, and for some young people it doesn't. And it's trying to respect everybody who's trying their best and working out where we can fill in the gaps. So it's not that, you know, schools are bad or teachers are bad, it's that it's not possible for everyone to fit into that box. And it would be better for them maybe to come into our box over here.
Our box over
and that's fine.
Everyone learns differently. Like, I'm fairly sure if like some of my teachers at school looked at me and thought, oh, she learns in a different way to this person, I would have done so much better at school. Totally. So is there a reason you kind of chose, or did you choose Sheffield in particular, or was it just kind of like a right place, right time? Was it just the opportunity that arose, or were you like, Sheffield needs this?
I mean, I've always known since I moved here that I was going to stay here. And I think like everything that has happened for my own personal career and the way I've done things is like quite organic. Nothing's ever felt like a huge step. It's always felt like a natural progression. So like to know sort of the city that you're in is the most important thing when you're starting a charity, I think. And when I was a student, I lived in the student areas and I understood that. And then I moved out of the student areas into S2, and that's when sort of tracks started. And it, for me, was like, we've sort of built it up around what communities are and what communities feel like. And again, it's happening again where I live now. We're sort of working in that space because it feels like it needs it. It's not just sort of forcing yourself into an area and forcing yourself into a group of people to try and be a saviour or anything like that. And I think there was gaps in Sheffield that needed sort of filling in a way to make it work for more people.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of places doing lots of really cool things, and it's just trying to make sure you're not just doubling up on stuff. It's actually stuff that people want and need. And people love Sheffield for music. And
you said you knew when you moved to Sheffield that you were going to stay in Sheffield. What was it about Sheffield?
Well, the first thing is my whole family from Yorkshire. I grew up in Northampton, hence why I sound like this. But when I was little, I sounded like I was from Leeds.
Right.
So Leeds is up the road. I didn't ever really want to go there, but I knew I wanted to be in Yorkshire. So when I came to Sheffield, I was like, oh, there are other people like my grandparents, and like there are other people who talk to you on the street like my mum does to everybody.
Call you duck and say thank you when they get off the bus, and
it just felt like a massive like warm hug, I guess. coming
really
back to Yorkshire.
Describing it,
and I think Sheffield's like really, I think it's just a really interesting place because you don't realise how great it is till you've been here for a while. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved being a student, and I think it's like great that like moving here as a student, it was really fun because you had to, it's a new experience. You're 18, you're gonna have fun wherever you are in a way. But then sort of as it grew on me, the more and more I've sort of loved the city and feel really connected to it.
I mean, it's got the highest student retention rate of any city in the UK.
Yeah. Was it like 10% of the student body stays every like year?
Wow.
That's
don't quote
crazy.
us on that, but that is if
I swear
that's true.
I think like 8 years ago when I first moved here, that was what I heard.
How did you guys get here? Well, you're from here.
I'm from here.
I lived in Spain at the time, and I moved here
for the weather.
No, my partner at the time wanted to do a master's here in Sheffield, so
not me.
We moved here, and I've just stayed. And like you said, it's just one of those cities where a lot of people think that I came for uni because I don't sound like I'm from Sheffield, but I'm here. But I didn't. But it's one of those places where I grew up abroad. I lived abroad my whole life and like moved around a lot. And it wasn't until I came to Sheffield that I felt like I could make a home here.
Yeah.
Like it's a really welcoming place.
Yeah.
Everyone's like championing everyone else, and it's so supportive and friendly and flying under the radar and green, and like I think the morals of the city in general, obviously there's outliers, but like in general, the morals of this city align really strongly with myself. The fact that they've always voted a certain way, or the things that they support, it's just, I feel like I found my people a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always, like, I feel like staying here.
Yeah.
And,
And Sheffield's produced like so many good musicians or bands, Arctic Monkeys, Pulp, etc. And Trax is kind of helping do that as well. You're kind of broadening it and expanding that repertoire of musicians that Sheffield has to offer. So what would you say is like the one thing that nobody told you about starting a charity?
It was a charity to begin with, and we sort of changed what it was. But I didn't realise, I mean, it used to be a fee-paying place with one child on a bursary a year. So like the charity aspect of it wasn't as, it didn't feel as big because the money was coming in and you were sort of, but for now it's like we have to find funding and we have to try and work out how to sell ourselves and like let people know that we're doing good stuff.
So
and
sorry. So how do you get funding?
you have to write really long, very sort of detailed funding bids.
Oh, right. So it's like
and
applying for grants.
It's
and
applying for
things.
grants,
Okay.
yeah, and then doing fundraisers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is like a lot of technical stuff. Like some of the stuff we do is paid for by the council because it's a service. Like we're helping young people because the schools aren't teaching them, so we are. So that's that's one thing. But you just don't realise the amount of admin and sort of red tape that goes with these things. And as someone who's like main job was playing the cello, it was quite a shock to the system. And I think like I've learned how to be sort of everything.
Yeah.
Like I do the social media, I plan all the lessons. Well, I plan when all the lessons are going to be. I hire the teachers, and I still teach to some of the kids and
spinning a lot of plates.
And that's the thing. You have to be so multi sort of. What's the word? I don't even know. It's not multi-talented because I definitely aren't talented at some of this stuff. But you just have to crack on and be comfortable with the fact that sometimes you're like, oh my God, I don't know if we're going to be here next year.
Yeah.
Because that was how we felt during COVID, and after that. There's been times where I just thought, this is not going to work. And I'm just going to have to tell these kids it's going to...
Really scary.
Yeah, it's really scary.
Especially when you're, like you said, you're providing a service and it's for kids who really need it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's like a home from home for a lot of the kids. When
that's
they
what they say. Like they sort of refer to it as like a family, and I feel the same. I mean, it inspired me to do a lot of things with my own personal life. Like I'm a foster carer now. And a lot of that was because of working with some of the kids that we do. I just couldn't, we couldn't not do that.
That's amazing. How are you finding that?
Yeah, it's hard, but it's the best thing I've ever done.
That's amazing.
Yeah, me and my husband are sort of 3 years into it now. And we're a team of 3 now. Like we have been for 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's great, but it is, you just realise how hard it is for young people.
Yeah.
They're starting at different points for everyone else, and it's definitely not fair.
Yeah.
But you can like do small things to like make a difference.
We met some people the other day who foster.
Yes, they do.
And it was my first kind of real exposure to fostering, like parents that have chosen to foster, and they've been fostering for like 16, 17 years.
Foster
and
daughter's 16.
They're they're a gay couple, and I thought it would, because everyone's like parenting brings you so much stress, and I just looking at these 2 guys and hearing them talk about it, and it brought them so much joy.
It takes a type of person to foster, and like in the nicest possible way, they give everything to these kids because they know that these kids deserve it. And it's
the story is like they're just you could tell that they absolutely loved it. I just want to go back to what you were saying about funding before.
Yes.
Because the first time your name cropped up was when I was interviewing John McClure, and he was like, it was shortly after you'd done the DJAG stuff.
Oh yeah.
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran, and he was like, council needs to just give funding to people like Lucy. Just give it all to Lucy. She's like, she knows what to do better than anyone. And I was like,
nice.
Wow, who's this person you're talking about? This is incredible. I need to go do some research.
God, I need that on a quote, don't I?
I know,
I'll get that on a
honestly.
t-shirt.
I'm not gonna lie, I've got it on video.
Oh, we can send
So
it.
there is
Yeah.
a video of
I
John
need
just
that.
being like, this Lucy is incredible what
Oh,
she
that's
does.
so
The
nice.
council should just give her whatever she needs to make it happen.
That is so nice.
So and I saw that Joe Carnell Jr. has also recently supported tracks as well.
Yeah, like I've worked with Joe for years, and he's just again like Joe and John and Ed, and they're all just like the nicest people, and we've sort of, in a way, like they've all grown up together, and I've sort of seen that journey a little bit from a bit later, just because I've played cello for them over and over again in different ways, and as everyone's getting a bit older, they've all got different projects going on, and like Joe with his musical, I played on that, and we're doing sort of different things together, like some of his new projects as well, and I think he was just like, what's all this about then? And I've shared it with him and others over the years, and he was just like, oh, if there's anything I can do to help, great. So I just sort of was playing for his Christmas show that he does every year, and I just sort of said, is there any way to like shout out tracks? And he was like, just go and tap up all my guest list for some cash. So I was just sat on the front desk, and I was like,
Real.
Joe's told you all you got to donate. So everyone like bunged a tenner, 20 quid in. And we made like the quickest 300 quid ever.
Sheffield. That's what I'm saying.
Amazing.
Everyone looks out for
It's
each other in
great.
Sheffield.
Yeah, and then it
It's
came to
brill.
our like campaign launch last week with some other people like Ed and like John's been really supportive, and they're just like, "What are you doing? Tell me what's happening. What can we do to help?" And I think that's like been amazing because, yeah, like I say, we all do different things, but we can all come together in different ways to like make different things happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, Joe's just like the nicest guy.
We went to see his How Could I Forget? They did the music for How Could I Forget in the church.
Did you see me then?
We went to pay for that. Were you playing?
It was
No way.
no way.
Yeah, because Adam was on guitar
what's
piano.
the church called?
Upper Chapel.
Upper
yeah.
Chapel.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were playing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I only did like 3 songs, I think. So,
It was.
and also I would have been sat down playing the cello, so you
Yeah.
might not have seen.
Maybe.
It was incredible. It was so moving.
Yeah.
Especially by the end.
We didn't actually know that we were just seeing the music off.
We didn't. I bought
We
tickets and I didn't know
thought
what
we were
was
going to
happening.
watch the show. But after having watched the music, even though we had no idea what was going on because it was just the music and not much storyline, we were like, we have to go and see it.
It's
'Cause
so
it's
good.
coming
It was
back on
incredible.
stage,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
I was in tears at the last song.
You were.
It was,
don't
it was just like,
wait till you get to see. Like honestly, I went to the opening night in Sheffield, and obviously I'd like recorded the music for it, so that's why I was there. I hadn't really thought too much of it because I didn't really have the context of what I played
Yeah.
on. So then I sat down and I was like ugly crying, like snot.
It's impossible not to
It's
sob.
just incredible, and it's a type of story that needs telling, and I just like really saw lots of like my own family in there, and even if you don't know anyone with dementia, it's still just like it's just devastating.
I was going to say actually,
and beautiful and heartwarming.
For people who are like watching this and don't know what it is,
How Could I Forget?
How Could I Forget is a show about dementia.
Yeah,
essentially.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Joe Carnell Jr. telling the story about his relationship with his grandfather. Is that essentially?
It's fictional and some based on some.
It's something that
it was so good. Considering he's never written a play before, like I was blown away.
It's really
considering like most people in life have some experience with dementia, it really hits home. So yeah, if you fancy sobbing your eyes out, go and get tickets to that when it comes back on stage.
It's really good.
Anyway, on to something a little bit happier. So music is a very powerful thing, as we know. You've created kind of this safe space for these young people at Tracks. Is there something that like, does the actual music side of it have a role in like influencing these kids' lives? Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the thing that hooks them in the first place. But it's also something that everyone is able to sort of start at the same place.
Yeah.
And you can come in not knowing how to do something, learn how to do it and be, from the start, but you can also have like ideas and feelings and thoughts that you need to get out.
Yeah.
And we have lots of people who use like lyrics to process how they're getting on and what they think and what they feel. So there's that sort of storytelling aspect to it. And I think as well, it's a vehicle for like learning other skills in life. Last week we launched a campaign because we want to start our own record label.
I saw that on your website. That's really exciting.
Yeah, and I think the reason why we want to do that is because we've always like produced lots of songs with the children, and like they've gone on to do their own thing or they've stayed with us, and sort of we gig a lot. We do lots of recordings, and I think we realised that we needed to take it to the next step. And what I was really passionate about in the first sort of instance of thinking of this idea was like, people think you can just put out a song and it's really simple and all you need is talent, but actually there's so many things that go into creating a song.
Yeah.
And then, there's that whole barrier of what do I do with it next? Yes, you can pay someone and get it out on Spotify, but, not everyone knows how to fulfill those steps. And actually a £20 barrier to like getting it online is really real for lots of people. But more than that, it's like the whole process of like the commitment to write the song, to go and record it, to work with new people. It's quite, can be quite scary.
Yeah.
And then, what do you want your artwork to be? What do you want people to know about you? Like, how are you going to sell yourself? Do you want to sell yourself? How do you feel about Spotify? How do you like all of those things that go into it can open up lots of different conversations and ways to like learn skills about sort of any career or any, anything that you want to do. And we just wanted to bring everything together so that everyone can have a chance to like do something really incredible and cool and, brings people together, doesn't it? Yeah. So that's sort of why we did that. And I think like the music, like I say, is the thing that just ties it all together. Yeah. Like anyone can be part of a song in a tiny way or the biggest possible way.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So you've got the record label coming up. That's a big deal, super exciting. But you've had lots of success in the past as well beforehand. So I saw Kid Blue on the Tramlines stage a couple of years ago, which was amazing. You've also had Ed Sheeran and the DJAG thing that happened last year, which was absolutely viral. Absolutely viral on social media.
Yeah.
How the heck did that come about?
That was nuts. And my mate lives on Peace Gardens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he was like, Joe, where are you? I was like, I've just got home. He went, Ed Sheeran's outside my window. And I was like, what? I was like, send me a picture. And I was like, oh my God, what's the real one? Doing? And then I went on DJAG and I watched the live stream. And
Did you?
It was incredible. It was absolutely
we should have gone down, to be honest. But I think by the time
you would have
there,
been better on like watching it on the phone because it was so big.
It was
like
round.
When you're 10 deep, you couldn't quite tell what was going on. Ed's got a foundation and he's got an amazing team of people that are like really keen to sort of see what they can do to help, change or improve like music education in the country. And, Ed has been visiting places to see what they do and how it works and really learning about everything from sort of the inside. So we were approached like in May 2024, around sort of working with the foundation. And we were sort of one of the first organisations to sort of link up with him in sort of a bigger way.
Yeah.
So he came to visit in 2024. And then we sort of have been doing projects funded by Ed and his team. And in May, he decided that it would be a good idea to do a stream with DJAG and Sheffield was the space to do it.
Wow.
So
the centre of Sheffield, no less.
Centre of
just
Sheffield.
Outside Town Hall.
It was just like the run up was like really, it was wild. Like, and we were backstage with 13 track students who were getting ready to walk out with like absolute global stars.
Yeah.
And just we had the night of our lives, quite frankly.
That's amazing. I
don't think I've ever felt a buzz like it because it was like, although I wasn't the one performing, I just like had, obviously I was like so proud of the kids, but also just like it was a moment of, oh God, there's been so many tears over this organisation and like how to run it and how to keep things going and, the stories of the young people and what they've been through to then like have this huge celebrity and some more of his like amazing musical mates come and like put like a big old tick on it was just an amazing feeling. And just seeing everyone there was
I've seen the videos of the kids like beforehand with the pictures with Ed like inside the hall. It looks incredible.
It was so good. And they were just happy to be with each other because last year was an amazing year anyway because we did Tramlines main stage with an orchestra and a lot of the kids were doing that and they were sort of getting prepared for that. And we had so many shows last year and recordings and we recorded a load of new music and released it and it just felt like a huge year. And they've all just got memories, like bags of memories that they'll just never forget. And it's right there videoed. And
I mean, after that, did you see like more people want to come? Because I'm assuming all their mates saw and they were like, oh my God, I want to go do this as well.
Yeah, we did. And like, I think that mainly though, it was like people just wanted to know what it was about and sort of get involved and like even their mates were just happy for them. And, one of the kids was like, oh, my best friend's my biggest fan. And they were just there to support
really
their best mate because they've known about what it is for ages. And I think there's still like a lot of people people think that not everyone can do music and join in with music and they will be supportive. And I think it maybe opened up people's eyes to like, it doesn't matter what you already know, you can come and do this thing and you can do it in any way you really want to as well.
I think that's something that's so beautiful about Traxxas as well, that it's so inclusive and welcoming and it's not like there's not like talented kids and then kids who are just kind of there for inclusivity. Everyone can do something that contributes to the bigger picture.
Definitely, because there's a lot of other people that were there that weren't there to perform. So we've got some beautiful pictures from one of our students who've been on work experience with us for the week.
Yeah.
And I think like that was the right thing for him. He didn't want to be on the microphone.
Yeah.
He wanted to be taking the pictures and doing some of the social media and the interviews.
Yeah.
And that was like, you know, they went on the radio the next day and that was big for them, and that was more important than performing. And yes, they make music, but that's not what they were there for. And you know, it's for anybody to find their thing.
So is that kind of what success looks like for track? You've got your label, you've had some incredible shows. What's like the end game for these kids?
I think it's like, for the organisation, it's like to have our own home and space that like is ours.
Yeah.
And to have this sort of label running, but for the kids to be able to like come and access it when they want, to be able to do exactly what they want to do there, and you know, get a career out of it at the end if they want that. Yeah. Like there are people who've been to tracks and now work for us, and I think for me that's like quite important, because some people will want to be here doing the music thing with us until they're 16, and then they'll go off and do something else, or they'll do it like as a hobby for many years. Or there'll be some people who are really talented and want to stay in Sheffield and want to be doing sort of the tracks thing. And that's exactly what we want as well. And it's amazing to see that happen. Like we have a couple of guys who work on our youth club and do some other stuff. And one of them's off to London in September because they're a producer and they've decided to move down because they've been doing this amazing producers program with Fraser T. Smith. And then there's another guy who's been like leading more and more mentoring, and he's really thriving as a mentor. Like the kids are obsessed with him. Yeah. He's so cool. And we want to be able to offer that as well, so that they can actually, you know, get paid at the end of it.
Amazing. I suppose finally, if people kind of want to get involved with tracks, how might somebody do that?
So if they're an adult and they want to help out, we love to have volunteers. So, you know, you can, if you're a musician, great. If you're not, great. Like we have an amazing team that make lunches on a Saturday morning for the children, or play games with them and that kind of stuff. Or if you want to help out by coming to the events and being on the door or anything like that, would be incredible. We really, really want people to sort of get involved with the campaign, and if anyone would be up for fundraising or doing anything to sort of help us raise a bit of money, that would be brilliant, because it's really hard.
It's a tough gig.
It's a tough gig.
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. And then the kids, if they want to join something, we try and update our social media a lot to let them know what's going on, or just drop us a message, and they'd be welcome to come down, because even if we haven't got any spaces, we still have gigs, and we try and get people involved in our open mic nights, and then as soon as we do have a space, we let them know and that kind of stuff. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Last but not least, how can people like find out about tracks? Social media handles, websites, wherever you want to send people.
Yep. So we mostly do Instagram and a bit of TikTok, and it is at tracks_UK.
Okay.
And our website is tracksuk.com. And what other things are there? Facebook. We've got Facebook as well. Yeah. So please like reach out, because I think, again, you try really hard on social media to get people to get involved, and it'd be nice to see as many people as possible say hi. So that would be great.
Amazing. Anything else you want to drop in there before we wrap up?
Please come and check out some of our music. You can stream it. It's really good, and it will make your day.
Cool. Lovely stuff. Anything else from you, Joe?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk to us.
It's been lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely
Sorry
stuff.
about the dogs.
I love the dogs.
The
dogs have been chaos today.
On one this evening.
I don't know what's wrong with Jasper tonight. He's just been he's been on one. Yeah.
He has. But
she's asleep now.
He's very cute though, so he gets away with it.
His little ear. Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of The Guest List. We'll be back next week with a normal episode.
Yeah. Thanks to Court for sponsoring.
Thanks to Court for sponsoring. And thanks for Lucy for coming.
No problem.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.